need this actually to talk to this crowd. Hi guys. So what'd you think?
Oh.
Was it as good this time as it was back in the day?
I've never seen it before.
No?
No, it's my first time.
Whoa, what'd you think?
Oh, it was great. I loved it.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that. I don't know too many virgin turtles.
Oh.
You have two in here. My mom had never seen
Really?
it either.
Did you like it? What'd you think of the message in it?
It was good.
Yeah?
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you know, what I've found over the years is that everybody can find somebody to identify in that movie because there's so many different personalities at work, from, you know, all the turtles as well as Splinter, and of course we got, you know, Casey Jones, but I like it for that because we kind of tried to make sure there was something for everybody in the picture. This is family entertainment. They did use the hell word a couple of times, and Raphael, and my favorite thing in the movie is when that cover comes up and we see Raphael peeking out from beneath the manhole cover. That was a brilliant piece of filmmaking. Steve's, when you watch it as many times as I've seen it, I've really come to appreciate what a great director he is and how creative he was with his shot making. So, anybody questions?
Trying to catch Kevin Eastman, but again, I didn't see him.
Yeah, I know. He wasn't. He may have ended up on the cutting room floor. There are some scenes I think it was in here, but
Was he in there in the background?
no.
Oh, he wasn't, okay.
He may have been in the background in one of these shots, but
Yeah,
he was
a
originally in the
craftsman.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the movie was shot in about 7 weeks, about 40 days. We shot. Most of it shot in North Carolina. We went to New York for a week, about 10 days. Out of that, the original budget was $8.5 million. It ended up at $10.5 million because of the overtime that we experienced because of the costumes that failed. But you know, it was fun from the beginning. And oftentimes the pictures that have the most trouble are the ones that do the best. I was talking to a guy from Paramount recently who had just worked on the movie Ghost. You remember that movie with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore? And that film apparently had a lot of trouble too, but it did really well at the box office. So I'm hoping that, you know, I don't really cotton much to trouble on sets because there's enough going on anyway. But in this case, it was about 110 degrees outside and the humidity was super hot. So whenever it got like that, and the costume, or the servos underneath those turtle shells would get too hot, and there was a cooling system inside those talking turtle costumes. It was supposed to pump cool water through. They quit working too. So those guys were probably, their body temperature was up around 120 by the time they were, you know, it was like, whoa. We had to stop a lot. So.
How much of it up to the barnyard scene was filmed in New York?
I'm sorry?
Up to like the barnyard where they go to the barn house like that?
Yeah, that was actually outside of Wilmington.
Okay, so up
It's
to
about a half an hour
scene.
away from Wilmington.
Okay, so then like the apartment, the store and everything was like New York, or?
There's some in New York, some of the scenes in New York you can see, but frankly, you know, 90% of the movie was shot on a big stage with a big backdrop of the New York skyline. So much of the movie was, even though it looks like New York,
Yeah,
it was
I was
actually
gonna say, it
shot
looks like
on
New
the
York,
stage.
so.
Yeah. But like I said before, Brian Henson was the genius that, working with his dad, they brought together those costumes in a way that I mean, everybody comments about those. They sort of make you relate to the characters because their personalities come through. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that you had a puppeteer who worked very closely with the actor inside the costume because they were wired together. They could hear one another, and the script supervisor would read the lines, and they would all repeat them, and they figured that out. And there were usually 2 puppeteers per actor, and the one Splinter, who was played by an actor by the name of Kevin Clash. Anybody know who he is? Elmo, right? You guys are fans. Yeah. So Kevin was something. He was extraordinary, and still he and Brian are I think as close friends as you can find in this business. So anyway, What else can I ask?
What happens to these costumes?
Oh, they all
Dry?
disintegrated,
They all disintegrate?
pretty much,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
That rubber latex stuff doesn't last that long, right? They were gone. Now, there's a guy out of Austin, Texas, Johnny Hung is his name, and he has a troupe of turtles that perform, and the costumes look pretty darn good compared to the originals. They're just stunt costumes, but they're pretty authentic, and he's gone to great lengths. He works for Vanilla Ice, so whenever Ice does a turtle show, a Back to the 90s show, Johnny and his crew are all on the stage doing their jujitsu and having fun. If you like Vanilla Ice, I'd recommend going to one of his concerts. It's a gas. Everybody gets wet, and everybody has a great time. There's no shrinking violets in that crowd, that's for sure.
The second movie was released in '92, wasn't it?
Yes.
Like that, so
Uh-huh.
2 more years.
The Secret of the Ooze, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, that movie was produced by a committee, whereas the first film, when Steve sat down with Todd Langen, who rewrote the script from Bobby's script, it was just the two of them. They didn't have to deal with anybody else. Whereas in the second film, the studio got involved, the toy company got involved, the marketing company, all the brands that wanted to be part of, and that's sort of what watered it down a little bit in a sense of it wasn't nearly as violent. Okay, I'll sign more. Do you have a pen? Did you bring a pen? Okay. Anybody else?
Even the Splinter puppet has disintegrated after that, everything?
I think, but you know, that costume, I think it's still extraordinary. I think it's one of the best pieces of costuming ever done. It's so realistic to a rat, whatever you think a rat might look like. But I think that was Kevin was also the puppeteer on that. It was weird because he had a special relationship. But the thing about it is they had the RC control, but they also had the Waldos, the remote control plugs that Jim actually invented. Is something that had never been done before. And between he and his son, they were so into it, and you could see some of that behind the scenes footage. They tested and figured out how to, you know, when they were doing those flips at the creature shop, that took about 3 months actually to perfect those costumes before they could actually do that kind of work. Yes, sir. Okay. Keep going. Anybody else? Here, hold on to this.
I never caught on that the nunchuck that Splinter uses at the end
Yes.
was Michelangelo's. That's the first time I ever caught that, actually. I just assumed that Splinter had a nunchuck on him.
Oh, yeah,
But
no,
now I
that's-
realize seeing it, like, oh, it was his. It was just hanging off the ladder. So
That's right.
Yeah.
That's one of those nuances of filmmaking that you don't necessarily see the first time, but you have to keep looking. There's all sorts of stuff like that in this film. I'm still looking, finding stuff, right? And I've seen it like maybe 1,000 times. The first time I saw it was in a Las Vegas theater. I think it was an AMC. And it was this test screening that we had. We had 300 kids and about 10 adults. And our rate, and when they scored the film, we got like 95%. We love it. We recommend it. And whenever that happens, you know that it's going to release. And we had ordered 1,200 prints at that point in time, and the guy from New Line who was there doubled the order that night based on that one test screening. It was pretty cool though. Kids were going nuts.
It was still.
But-
And now it's all adults showing their kids as well. Now.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So, anything else?
What, I do have a question. What
Sure.
was it about when was that moment for you when you were like, I want to be a part of this?
Well, I've wanted to make movies since I got into the business. I started in the television business doing sports TV, and then I worked for Showtime. And while I was working for Showtime, I got to work on movies, but I was an executive in charge of production. I was on the studio side, so I didn't get a chance to get my hands dirty a lot. But I did get to know all the film crews and all of the people in the business, and I still have a lot of those relationships today. But I think that it was just a desire to make movies, and then when my partner sent me these comics, At first I didn't believe him. I thought he was kind of whacked out. Because he called and said, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you never believe it. And I'd never heard the expression before. And then it just worked out. When I saw the comics, I saw
Hello,
the
movie
vision.
fans, and thank you for showing up early for Newbie. I'm your host, Marie Menounos, and I am super excited to make your movie-going experience better with exclusive pop culture content, games, and endless movie trivia.
Are they releasing Secret
Close
Invasion?
Up with Perry Nemiroff. Today's guests are the stars of Downton Abbey, the grand finale, Ellen Leach, Joanne Froggatt, Michelle Dockery, Hugh Bonneville. Welcome to the show. So happy to have you here.